Good afternoon. We
Good
changed our
afternoon.
time today.
We did change a bit of our time, thinking that we are not disturbing enough people at 1 o'clock on a Monday morning, so we maybe will disturb them better at 12:30. We aim to be pests over here. We aim to ruin people's mornings. I was just thinking to myself, and we were talking offline, so I'll start with this, and then we'll get into our topic. And I was
Yeah,
like, most people don't really understand how to navigate this new world of marketing changes or transitions. Like, for example, when we are doing our LinkedIn live, we are not really particularly expecting people to join us when we go live,
yeah,
right? What we are doing is that we are creating content which people, if they're on here live and they want to waste their time listening to us live while they have their lunch, wonderful. But normally it is content that is created on LinkedIn, which therefore allows us to put it out there without doing too much editing. And that, I think, happens because there's an audience effect, because we are both very careful about what we say, because we know there's no editing that's going to happen. And the second is that we also know that with the LinkedIn algorithm the way it is, if you're going to put up canned content or put up a YouTube link, it's not going to work as hard. So and that is purely a production perspective. But if I talk to a CMO, or if I talk to any person who is more conventional in their thinking, they would want to announce the LinkedIn live 2 or 3 days before, and then they would want to make a hoo-ha out of it and make a couple of posts out of it. And while that has incremental changes, I don't think that it really contributes beyond a point. And that is where the whole older system of marketing is broken. And that's what I thought I will tell you. Going live, I said, wait, let's go live, and then I'll share what I think about conventional marketers. So here we go. Sorry, Jahnavi, sorry for my rant early on. Why don't you start the topic of the day?
yeah. No, that rant was actually good, and I completely agree with you. Candid content beats, and when you have a lot of things to say, it is better to go candid. People appreciate that kind of content much more than the teaser
Yeah,
content. 3 days to go, 2 days to go,
yeah,
kind of.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So we'll start with the topic. So we've generally been talking about the high level of marketing or the intricacies of maybe what is trending and algorithms and all of that stuff. So I thought let's just take a step back and talk about something very basic that all of the companies, especially the startups, are struggling with these days, and that is the go-to-market strategy. So
yeah.
even in go-to-market strategy, let's start with finding your customers, because this is one area that startups unanimously struggle with. Either they
Hmm.
think that the universe is my universe, everybody is my customer, or
Yeah.
they are not able to target the right set of customers, or they're not able to identify who will be my perfect product fit. So
Hmm.
I wanted to get your opinion, since you work with companies, you are teaching marketing. So from both sides of the coin, how do you think startups should go towards identifying who their customers are, finding them, and then converting them?
Wow, this is like a tossed up ball for me, like how Virat Kohli got a tossed up ball so that he can complete his century and India wins the war. Right. This is so right up my street. So what I wanted to say was, okay, this is exactly it, right? What I was talking about just before we started this topic was people think in conventional terms about marketing. And I think startup guys, specifically the ones who are more product centric or tech centric, want to build first to an extent and then start their GTM or go to market strategy in a sense. And I think that by itself is a flaw. Your go to market strategy is going right now as we speak. This is what I'd like to say. What you need to do is understand that you need to start marketing now before your product is going anywhere or whatever is happening, because unless and until you're building that groundswell by creating pure demand on your story, or on whatever your point of view is, your differentiator, or the movement that you're supporting, or the trends that you're trying to capture, you're going to find it really a big struggle when you say, oh, now I've got product X, now I will talk about the features and benefits and stuff
Yeah.
like that, which I think basically is the problem. And most people think that, forget about this brand building also. I'll do performance marketing directly, and I'll just get 1,000 people who are just waiting for me to send my godsend to them. So I think these are the two problems that I immediately see with most startups. The problem is that they think they know marketing, but they don't know marketing. And the marketing that they do know is conventional marketing, not marketing that is actually building the brand in a new agey way.
Very true, like Satyavachan.
Satyavachan. Okay. No, so I don't know. What
No,
do you think? Have you
I
seen?
completely agree, especially your bit about performance marketing. Now my question is, if you don't know who to target exactly, you're just wasting money at the end of the day. So the first thing that you
Yeah, and yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. You know how they waste even money even more by sitting in their building and talking on about who their target
exactly,
segment is.
yes, you can't make your go-to-market strategy while sitting in a boardroom. Get out.
Right? Yeah, yeah, you can't wait for that wonderful big idea that you're strategizing and you feel so amazed about for your own standards, when you should be trialing out smallish ideas out there and finding out who your audience is, what your relationship with your audience is, what you think your value proposition is may not be this, may not be it, and so on and so forth. And unless and until you test shit out, how the hell are you going to figure out what it is? Would
No,
you agree?
absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, you need to get out there. This is where actually content comes into play. Before you start building,
Yeah.
your product is ready, your brand is ready. You know that. You know the general broad direction of where you are going. For example, we can take cars as an example. You can either go the route that a Jeep took, or a Land Rover took, or a Tesla took. Right now, but you have a
Yeah.
car that is your MVP. Right now, you need to understand how to get into the market. So now you test out different things among different consumers. You run different types of pilot. Why does there need to be just one pilot? Run different pilots in different segments with different consumers. See what clicks. See what sticks. See what the emotion is going towards, and see who is the lowest hanging fruit that you can capture, and then convert more into network effect or word of mouth, or then all of these marketing tactics come into play. But the first thing that you need to
Yeah.
understand exactly which direction to take to find your consumer. What value prop do you really does your brand really resonate with? Are you going the Land Rover route where you say I'm going after the adventure guys, or are you going for an SUV route where you say I want to go for soccer moms? Who is your target customer? Even within the broader segment, you can't just say ki, okay, I'll target a male who are 18 to 24 years old. Agreed, great, but like there are
Who are your
million people.
personas? I think you should start with
Yeah,
personas, and you're absolutely right. You need to be as specific as possible. And I'll tell you something just to add on to this. I absolutely understand where you're coming from and couldn't agree more. And I just wanted to, since you like Elon Musk so much, for a change, let me praise him. For a change, let me praise him. The way in which he looked at the Tesla marketing was amazing, and that's something that was clearly based on segmentation and who the early adopters and innovators are going to be. They're the ones who are going to be with money. They're the ones who will want it to be at a premium. So build a product that is at a premium kind of thing, and make sure that you're not represented by a PR agency. Build your personal brand as much as you can. Maybe even buy a social media platform if you got the dough, whatever it is, right? So if I look at the way in which Elon Musk did it, and of course he hadn't bought X when he was selling Tesla or building Tesla, so he was very much building it on his personal brand, which he was talking on Twitter at that time and anywhere else. And he was talking to a premium segment. So it was, if you look at it, it is new age marketing at its finest. It was not talking to the entire segment. It was also making sure that the product is developed in line with the early adopters and innovators and the community around it. And it was connected to a personal brand as a story rather than what the product is as a story. So all aspects that we all stand for, don't we,
exactly.
Janvi?
And the best part was, even though Tesla has always been built as an eco-conscious kind of a brand, he never spoke about it being a sustainability car or whatever. It was
Oh,
all
yes.
about status and luxury, because he knew that the only people who can afford a sustainable car at that time were the people who had a lot of money. So why talk about the
Absolutely.
functionality of it? Let us talk about our aspiration or our emotional stuff that actually clicks with the customer.
Beautiful. I love it. I think just one thing I would like to add. It's the thing about the meatless meat thing. And maybe we can end there. So if you look at meatless meat, it has never taken off very in a very big way, and the reason is because they're focusing on the functional
Yeah.
benefits, and they're looking at connecting it to something which is in a very
Yeah.
negative way. So they haven't really found out who their early adopters and innovators are going to be, and whether they are going to be intrigued by the meatless meat thing, or is it something which should be sold as a beautiful alternative protein thing which is also sustainable for the environment or whatever. There can be many stories created around it, but it really depends. You got to stick those small ideas out and find out what's happening. So yeah, so GTM for startups, do not struggle, get in touch with us, I think. But besides, even if you don't get in touch with us, what you need to do is certainly start marketing from the get go, and which means now, not after your product
Yeah,
is done.
exactly. Just go out there. I mean, at the best part about starting is you cannot do wrong. And even if you do something wrong, who's watching? Right.
Who's watching? Who's watching? Maybe therein lies another episode around egos and how we think the whole world is watching. But maybe we will disturb people's lunches on some other day, Janavi, since we've already taken 11 minutes of their
Yeah.
time. Right?
Chalo, we'll sign off now. Bye.
All the very best. Thank you.